Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an SU-5. It's a Tier 4 Soviet SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Fisherman's Bay, and it's under the command of 73north of the WTWW clan. And I'm looking at that SU-5, and it looks like he's got one of the stock guns, the 122mm, instead of the 152mm mortar. So this should be an interesting game. We look at the HE, we can see instead of using the standard HE, which has got 300 alpha and 30mm of pen, he's using the extra HE with 420 alpha and 30mm pen instead. So he's using a different HE as well as a different gun. Now, the 122 has got a faster reload time, and it's also got more shells. You carry 27 instead of 18 for the 152. And so it's actually a better gun to get damage on the enemy, but probably not as much fun as nuking an enemy target with the 152. And it's also the reason why he's got a longer range as well, so he can shoot enemy targets right up the center line. Rounds out the SU-76. Misses it with the first round. That was the griller. He just got some stun. Now you can see he's tracked the vehicle as well. Okay, rounds out. Well, that's very definitely a kill. Now, they actually made 3 versions of the SU-5, and it was designed in the 1930s at the Kirov plant in Leningrad. It was based on the T-26 light tank, which of course was designed by Vickers in the UK and bought by the Soviets. Well, it looks like the grillers hit him on the turret, and our shell landed directly in front of him, but still managed to do some damage. Only 15 hit points. And before we can fire the next shell, the T-80 goes down to the T-34. Now, they made 3 versions, as I said, the 76mm, a 122mm, and the 152mm. And the thinking behind it was the 76mm was the main gun used by the Soviets at the time and was on the SU-26. But they also decided to fit a 122mm howitzer on it as well, and that had pretty good results. And then they used a 152mm, and that got even better results. But they mass manufactured the 122mm and built 30 of them, but they discontinued making them in 1937. Well, he's managed to hit that guy on the turret ring and the driver, and the next shell splashes him to death and kills him. So he's got 2 kills now. Now, this Arty does have a fairly high trajectory, and that's one of the reasons why the 152mm has actually got a short range, because it's firing very high at the enemy and landing very close to where you're actually shooting from. He's looking at the fence there in the background. That's near the enemy cap, and we can't actually reach the enemy cap as such, but we can certainly reach these bushes near it. And I suspect that there might be an enemy tank down there, because there's several holes in the fences. And that normally indicates somebody moved through that hole to get to the center line. Oh, we just saw another fence go down to the right. And yes, there's the SU-5. Okay, he's dialing in. Rounds out. Oh! That was a solid hit. The guy had taken damage from 2 of our tanks just before the shell arrived, but it finished him off. But now we've got a serious worry, because we've got an Excelsior on the enemy team coming in, and it looks like he's intent on killing that Panzer III Ausführung J on our team. Well, our round hits him in the rear, but unfortunately the Panzer III is on fire and he's out the game. The Excelsior is moving towards us. Okay, lines one up, fires it, and gets the hell out of dodge. Normally we say to our players, please watch the shell after you fired it so we can see where it hit, but I can understand he's trying to get away from the Excelsior at the moment. And the Excelsior is now exchanging fire with our SU-85. Okay, can he get a direct hit? Well, he doesn't need to worry because the Stug came back and shot at him and got a kill. So it is an interesting choice to actually use the 122mm for the SU-5. As I say, you get a faster reload as well. The standard reload with the 122mm is 14.86 seconds. And you can see here, 73north's got it down to 13.91. And that's almost as fast as the Bishop. So it's well worth considering. It's also very interesting watching all these games from lower tier Arty because they do have an element of fun, especially if you did learn how to play Arty using the lower tier Arty first and then moved on and upwards to the more interesting tier 8, tier 9 and tier 10 Arty. We're looking over the west side of the map because there's a T80 bin over there. He could be in that bush next to the windmill. We've got an SU-85 on the way south along that gully. And he's being fired at by the enemy. In fact, the T-80's been spotted. But what we've just spotted is the SU-5. And if we can kill him, we get a counter battery fire. First shell goes in, does 82 hit points. He's on the move. Can we get a shot? He's stopped to take a shot. Rounds out. Oh, and he gets him, and that's a medal. That's a counter battery fire medal and a fighter badge as well for getting at least 4 kills. Now we're looking for the other tank, which was the T-80. He was headed this way. In fact, there he is, but he's just too far away. We're now having to move forward just to get within range. And that's why the Rescue's jumping about quite a lot. If the Rescue jumps about when you're trying to take aim, usually it's because you've left the cruise control on and he fired one round, basically snap, and he's now trying to get close so he can get a better shot. That T-80's on the retreat. Yeah, he's going to have to keep moving to get the guy within range. And now we're capping. The T-34 in our team has decided to start capping. It was a reduced numbers game. There's only 13 players on either side. Tier 5 with Tier 4 tanks. And I think some of those enemy tanks are bots. Yes, because I'm pretty certain that some of them are, because they've got colons in front of and behind the name. And that's an indication they are a bot. Well, we fire around at the T-80. Oh, so close. But he is still showing himself. And he's starting to exchange fire with the SU-85. Okay, we're fully dialed in. Rounds out. Long flight time. And yes, he does get a hit. Looks like the shell landed on the engine deck on the rear. I can just see a yellow mark. Yep, there it is. You can see it. So he's damaged the guy's engine. Rounds out. Second shot. Oh, that's pretty final. But I'm afraid the game's about to be over because the T-34 hasn't stopped capping. And there's still one enemy out there. And the game is over. Well, it was a pity that we were denied the chance to get a Top Gun out of that game. There was one enemy still remaining. And 73north had every chance of taking that guy out. But unfortunately, the T-34 on our team decided he wanted an Invader medal and he capped out to win. That was the first ace tanker for 73north of the WTWW clan in the SU-5. One of the Artys which I find great fun to play, even with the 152mm. He managed to get a counter battery fire medal for taking out the enemy SPGs, at least 2. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, which is 1 short of a Top Gun and 1/3 of the enemy team. And he got a bronze medal as well for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 14. And his win rate from that game, 6,251, which is super unicum and a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. The gorilla on our team got a high caliber, 1,659 hit points of damage. Grey Wolf Consultant. I haven't seen that name before, but obviously he is very good at the gorilla. Second highest damage went to 73north, 1,560 hit points. And third highest damage, well, that went to the T-34. The guy who capped out, he got the Invader medal. When it came to kills, it's, yes, 73north. 5 kills to him, 3 kills to the Stugtai Aslains B. And the gorilla only got 1 kill, so did the T-34. In fact, only 1 enemy tank managed to get a kill in that game, and that was the Panther III Aslains J, and he was killed by the Excelsior. When it came to base XP, it's, yes, 73north got that one, 629 to him, 574 to the gorilla, 566 to the T-34. He fired 16 rounds in the game, got 7 direct hits and 1 penetrating shot, 13 splash. Damage of 1,560, all of it, not all of it actually, 1,468 of it at more than 300 meters. I suspect the close shot was actually on the Excelsior, who was very, very close when he was engaged and killed. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 5 were killed. He earned 102,648 credits for that game. He did get an incredibly high mission completion bonus of 80,000 out of that one. So, yeah, with a pinch of salt, take that 80,000 off, and you got 22,000 profit from a tier 4 Arty. We don't want people to think that a tier 4 Arty can generate 102,000. They'll all be playing it. And 1,887 experience points out of that game as well. It was a very good game. The SU-5 can be a lot of fun. But what was interesting out of that game was 73north electing to use the non-stun HE, or the higher power HE, to actually get more damage and to take out the enemy tanks. In fact, he did penetrate one of the enemy tanks, and I suspect that was the enemy SU-5. No, it wasn't. Was it the other SU-5? Nope, not that one either. It certainly wasn't the Excelsior. It was actually the SU-76M, the one he fired at the first kill in the game. Yes, he penetrated him and wiped him out altogether. So very well done in that game. Interesting to use the 122. It's faster. It does reload quicker. It's not so great when it comes to dialing in as the others. In fact, if I remember correctly, it's the same to dial in, but it's still interesting to use the 122 because, of course, you're firing that much faster, so you're going to get more shots on the enemy and more chance of getting a Confederate if you are playing competitively. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.